There is one job your hydrangeas need in the next couple of weeks, and most gardeners wait too long to do it. They wait until fall, when the garden is winding down and they finally get around to tidying things up. And by then, it is too late. Because waiting does not just delay this job. Waiting quietly destroys next year's flowers before they ever have a chance to open. I am talking about pruning, but not the way most people think about pruning, as something you do whenever the bush gets too big, or whenever you feel like it. For a whole group of hydrangeas, there is exactly one safe window in the entire year to make a real cut, and that window is right now. It opens the moment the plant finishes blooming in summer, and it slams shut, hard, at the beginning of August. Miss it, and you do not get another chance until this time next year. Here is what almost nobody tells you, and it is the reason so many people end up with a big, healthy green hydrangea that simply refuses to flower. These plants are forming next year's flower buds right now in late summer. So if you wait and you cut that bush back in the fall or the winter to neaten it up, you are not shaping the plant. You are amputating every single flower it was going to give you. This is, by a wide margin, the #1 reason a hydrangea stops blooming. And it is entirely because people wait too long. So this video is a deadline. A real one, with a real date. And I am going to prove that deadline is real by showing you something on your own plant that you have probably never looked at. But here is the twist, and it is the honest part. This urgency is only for some of you. For the other half, with a different kind of hydrangea, the correct advice right now is the exact opposite. Do not touch it. Put the shears down and walk away. And if you get that backwards, you cause the very damage you are trying to avoid. So the very first thing you have to do is figure out which group you are in. Here is the fork in the road, and everything in this video depends on which side of it you are standing on. There are two kinds of hydrangeas, and they have opposite deadlines. So before you make a single cut, you have to know which one you own. The first group blooms on what gardeners call old wood. These plants form next year's flower buds in late summer, on the stems that are already standing there in your garden right now. This group is the one with the clock running. This is the group this whole urgent video is about, and it includes the classic big leaf hydrangeas, the big round mop heads, and the flatter lace caps in blue, pink, and purple. The mountain types, and the oak leaf types, with leaves shaped like an oak. If that is what you have, the window is open right now, and it is closing. The second group blooms on new wood. These form their flower buds next spring, on brand new growth that has not even appeared yet. For this group, cutting now is a mistake, and their real pruning time is late winter, months away. This is the panicle types, with the cone-shaped flower heads, like limelight. And the smooth types, with the big white snowballs, like Annabelle. If that is what you have, this is not your moment. Relax, and I will tell you exactly what to do near the end. And there is a third, forgiving group, the rebloomers, like the Endless Summer series, which bloom on both. They are the easy ones, and they have their own small rule I will cover. So the quick test. Round mophead or oak leaf, that is old wood, and your clock is ticking. Cone-shaped flower, that is new wood, and you can stand down. And do me a favor. Drop a comment and tell me which type you have and what state you are in, because your climate shifts that August deadline by a week or two either way, and I want to know who is up against the clock. Now let me show you exactly why the clock is running. So let's talk about why this window exists at all. Because once you understand the biology, the deadline stops being a rule you have to memorize and becomes something obvious. An old wood hydrangea runs on a very specific yearly schedule, and it is completely different from how you probably imagine a plant working. Here is the sequence. The plant blooms for you in early to mid-summer. Then, just a few weeks later, in the late summer, while the weather is still warm, it does the most important thing it does all year. It forms the flower buds for next summer. Those buds develop through August and September, and then they sit there, tiny and dormant, riding out the fall and the entire winter on the ends of the stems. And the following summer, those exact buds, formed almost a year earlier, open into your flowers. Sit with that for a second, because it changes everything. It means the flowers you will enjoy next June were created the previous August. They spend 9 or 10 months as dormant buds, just waiting on the plant. So now look at what that does to your pruning window. Right after the plant blooms, in that gap in mid to late summer, the old flowers are spent, but the new buds have not formed yet. That is your window. That is the one moment you can cut and shape the plant without destroying anything, because there is nothing there yet to destroy. But the moment those new buds form, from August onward, every cut you make below them removes next year's flowers. And now you can see exactly why waiting is so devastating. The person who waits until fall to tidy up their garden, or worse, waits until late winter to cut everything back, is doing their pruning at the precise moment when next summer's flowers are all sitting there, fully formed, on the stems. They cut the bush down to a nice, neat shape, and they throw every single flower into the yard waste bag. Then spring comes. The plant leafs out green and healthy because the plant itself was never harmed. But the blooms are gone, and they have no idea why. That is not bad luck. That is not a sick plant. That is simply pruning too late. And it is the single most common reason healthy hydrangeas do not bloom. So the deadline is real. But do not take my word for it. Go look at your own plant, because the proof is sitting right there on the stems. Here is how you make this deadline real, instead of just believing me. Pause this video, walk out to your old wood hydrangea, and go find next year's flowers, because they are already there, on the plant, today. Here is exactly where to look. Take a stem and follow it down from the tip. At each point where a leaf joins the stem, there is a little junction, a notch where the leaf stalk meets the wood. Gardeners call that the leaf axil. And tucked right into those axils, up and down the stem, you will start to see them. Small, plump buds. On many big leaf hydrangeas, they have a reddish or pinkish tint. On others, they are green and pointed, hugging tight against the stem. They look different from the leaf buds, fatter, more deliberate. Those are next year's flowers. That is not a metaphor. Each one of those little buds, sitting in a leaf axil right now, is a mop head or a lace cap waiting to happen. They will sit there in that exact spot, through the fall, through the frost, through the snow, all winter long, and next summer they will swell and open into the blooms you have been waiting for. Now, depending on exactly where you are in the season and your climate, those buds may be very obvious already, or just beginning to form. In the hottest part of midsummer, right after bloom, they may still be forming. By August and into fall, they are unmistakable. But here is why I want you to go look right now, today. Because the second you have seen those buds with your own eyes, this whole video changes. It stops being abstract advice about timing, and it becomes something you can physically see and protect. Because now, when I tell you the rule for cutting, it will make complete, obvious sense. You cut above the buds, never below them. Every bud that is below your cut stays on the plant and blooms next year. Every bud above your cut goes in the bin. It is that simple and that visual. So this is not a deadline I invented to make a video feel urgent. It is a physical fact sitting on your stems, in the leaf axils, right now. Go put your finger on one. And once you have seen them, Here is exactly how to make your cuts without sacrificing a single one. So here is exactly how to do it, and I am going to give you 2 levels. A safe level that everybody can do, on any hydrangea, with 0 risk. And the real level, the actual shaping, which is for old wood plants, in this window, right now. Let's start with the safe level, because it is the one most of you actually need. Deadheading. This just means removing the spent, faded flower heads from summer. And here is the beautiful part. Done correctly, deadheading is safe on every type of hydrangea, and it protects every bud. Here is the technique. Take the spent bloom, follow its stem down just a little way, and cut just above the first full pair of healthy leaves or buds below the dead flower. That is it. You are removing the ugly brown flower and nothing else. You are cutting well above all those precious buds we just found. It tidies the plant, and on some types, it even nudges a little more growth, and it costs you nothing. If all you ever do is deadhead, you will never ruin your blooms. So, if you are nervous, this is your move. Just take off the dead flowers, cut above a healthy pair of leaves, and stop. Now, the real level. Actual pruning to shape the plant, control its size, and keep it healthy. This is for old wood plants only, and it has to happen now, before August. Here is how you do it properly, step by step. Step 1. Always start with the 3 Ds. Dead, damaged, and diseased wood. Go through the plant and remove any stem that is dead, broken, or diseased, cutting it right out at the base. This is safe on any hydrangea, anytime, and it should always come first. Not sure if a stem is dead? Scrape the bark with your thumbnail. Green underneath, it is alive. Brown and dry, it is dead. Take it out. Step 2. Thin, do not top. If the plant is too crowded, the right way to reduce it is to remove a few of the oldest, thickest stems entirely, cutting them all the way down to the base. That opens the plant up, improves airflow, and rejuvenates it, while leaving the younger, productive stems full of buds intact. What you must never do is shear the whole plant off across the top, flat, like a hedge. Topping a hydrangea cuts off all the terminal buds, ruins its natural shape, and triggers weak, ugly growth. Thin from the bottom. Do not cut across the top. Step 3. When you do make a shaping cut on a stem, cut just above an outward-facing bud or a healthy pair of buds, and leave about a 1/4 inch of stem above them. Cut at a slight angle so water runs off the cut. And choose a bud that faces outward, away from the center, so the new growth grows outward and keeps the middle of the bush open. And here is the rule that ties back to what you just saw on your plant. Cut above the buds, always above. Every bud below your cut is a flower next summer. Step 4. Restraint. Never remove more than about 1/3 of the plant in one go. These are not plants that want to be cut hard, and taking too much stresses them and costs you blooms even inside the right window. When in doubt, take less. And 2 quick tool notes. Use sharp bypass pruners, the kind whose blades slide past each other like scissors, not the crushing anvil kind, for clean cuts that heal fast. And wipe your blades with alcohol or a bleach solution before you start and between plants, so you are not carrying disease into fresh cuts. And do it all on a dry day, because pruning wet plants spreads disease. That is the entire method. 3 Ds first. Thin from the bottom, cut above an outward bud, take no more than 1/3, clean sharp tools, dry day. Now, that was all for old wood. If you have new wood, Everything I just said flips upside down. So if you have a new wood hydrangea, here is your instruction for right now, and it is refreshingly simple. Stop. Put the shears down. This is not your season, and cutting now works against you. Remember the two panicle and smooth types, the cone-shaped ones like Limelight, and the big white snowballs like Annabelle. These bloom on new wood, which means they make their flower buds next spring, on growth that has not even emerged yet. So the whole urgency of this video, the ticking August clock, does not apply to them at all. Their correct pruning time is late winter or very early spring, while the plant is still dormant before the new growth pushes out. That is months away. And here is why cutting them now is a mistake. In midsummer, a panicle or smooth hydrangea is either blooming or about to bloom on this season's growth. If you start hacking at it now, you are cutting off the very stems that are producing this year's flowers, or that just did. You gain nothing, and you lose blooms. So the calendar for these plants is the opposite of the old wood ones. Old wood, cut in summer, right now. New wood, cut in late winter, and leave it alone until then. Now, there is still one thing new wood owners can safely do right now, so you are not completely on the sidelines. You can deadhead, exactly the way I described, snipping off spent blooms just above a healthy pair of leaves. And you can always remove dead, damaged, or diseased wood on any plant, anytime. Beyond that, enjoy the show and wait for winter. And a quick word for the rebloomers, the endless summer types that flower on both old and new wood. These are the forgiving ones. Because they bloom on both, you cannot really ruin them by timing, and light pruning or deadheading now is fine. But here is their one special rule, and it catches people. Stop deadheading them by mid to late fall, because cutting the tips late in the season can wake up buds that a hard frost will then kill. So deadhead your rebloomers through the summer, then leave them be as fall arrives. So that covers everyone. Old wood, cut now. New wood, wait for winter. Rebloomers, relax, but stop deadheading before frost. Now, what if you are watching this and the window has already closed? So what if you are watching this and it is already August, or you honestly cannot tell what type you have, or you just are not sure whether those buds have formed yet? Here is the honest answer. And it is the opposite of what an urgency video usually tells you. If you are not certain you are still safely in the window, do not prune. Wait. I mean that. Here is the rule the extension services actually give, and it is the most reassuring sentence in this whole video. If you have missed the ideal window, it is better to wait than to prune incorrectly. A single year of an unpruned, slightly overgrown hydrangea is completely harmless. The plant will bloom just fine, but cutting at the wrong time costs you the entire flush, and doing it repeatedly, year after year, genuinely weakens the plant. So, when in doubt, the answer is always the shears stay in the shed. Doing nothing is a perfectly good option. Remember, no hydrangea actually needs pruning to be healthy and bloom. Pruning is for you, for shape and size, not for the plant's survival. And if you do wait, here is how you make sure you never miss it again. Mark your calendar right now for the moment your hydrangea finishes its main bloom next summer, and that is your window, from then until the end of July. Write down what type you have so you never have to guess again. And if you do not know, hang on to the tag next time, or just watch when it blooms and how, and it will tell you. Old wood plants that only bloom once, cut them in that after-bloom summer window. That is the whole system. And one last thing you can do right now that genuinely helps, no matter your type. Those buds forming on your old wood plants this month are being built with the energy the plant is making right now. So, support that. Keep the plant watered deeply and consistently through the late summer heat, and keep a 2 to 3 inch layer of mulch over the roots, pulled back off the stems to hold that moisture. A well-watered plant in August sets more and stronger buds for next year. That is not pruning. That is just giving the plant what it needs while it does its most important work. So let me pull the whole thing together. Before we finish, do one thing for me. Think of one person you know with a big, healthy hydrangea that never seems to bloom. Someone who cuts it back every fall to tidy it up and cannot understand why they get no flowers. Send them this video, just the link. Their answer is in the timing, and they have almost certainly never heard this. Now, here is the whole thing, in one breath. Know your plant, cut in the right window, and cut above the buds. If you have an old wood hydrangea, a mop head, a lace cap, an oak leaf, the window is open right now, and it closes at the start of August. Deadhead, the spent flowers just above a healthy pair of leaves. And if you are shaping the plant, take out the 3Ds, thin the oldest stems from the bottom, cut above an outward-facing bud, and never take more than 1/3. Do it in the next couple of weeks. If you have a new wood hydrangea, a panicle or a smooth type, this is not your moment. Deadhead if you like, pull out any dead wood, and otherwise wait for late winter. And if you are not sure, or you have missed the window, do nothing. Put the shears away. A year unpruned beats a year with no flowers, every time. Now here is why I made this video, and why it matters to me. Most videos that tell you something is urgent are just trying to rush you. This one is different, and I proved it to you. That deadline is not a sales tactic. It is sitting on your plant right now, in the form of little buds tucked into the leaf axils that you can walk out and touch. Real urgency, with real proof. And listen, a hydrangea can bloom faithfully for decades. The big blue mophead by the porch, the one from your mother's garden. Do not let one mistimed cut, made with the best intentions in October, quietly rob you of a whole summer of flowers. Now you know the window. Use it. So subscribe and stick around. We do this the honest way here in the Forgotten Knowledge Library. Real horticulture, exact amounts, and we tell you straight, even when the honest answer is to do nothing at all. It is free, and it always will be. Next time, another plant, another job with a deadline. Nobody warns you about until it is too late. Now go out to your hydrangea, find those buds in the leaf axils, and then either cut above them today or put the shears away until winter. I will see you in the next one.